Hi everybody! My name is Desiree Dennis, and I am a spirit medium, Reiki master, and spiritual workshop facilitator. Before I begin the video today, I have a very special announcement. I have decided that I am going to post a video every Sunday for the rest of 2020. So check back here on Sundays for the rest of the year and you'll find a brand new video. Woohoo! I'm also super excited to introduce a new series on this channel, which is called Messages from the Other Side. In this series, I'm going to be sharing some of the beautiful messages of love and wisdom that I receive during my readings for my clients. It is my hope through doing so that it will bring some of the Spirit's magic and wisdom into your day. And I also hope that it will give you a little bit of a sense about how the spirits communicate, which could help you in your own spirit communication practice. There are going to be two types of messages that I share in this series. In part one of each video, I'm going to share a few validations from Spirit. And in part two, I will share some of Spirit's teachings. Validations from Spirit are specific messages that the spirits pass on to let their loved ones on earth know that they are okay. And honestly, it feels really magical anytime one of these messages comes through. In readings where someone has lost a close loved one of the spirit's main intentions is just to let their loved one on earth know that they are okay by telling them something that's so specific that it's undeniable that the message is coming from them. In my experience, it can be a little bit difficult to ask the spirits to just give me a validation. It seems to work best to allow the spirits to just weave them in on their own, which they are very happy to do so in the course of the conversation. And then part two of the messages I'll share in this video are going to be spiritual teachings. I find that some of the messages that the spirits give in their readings are universal and could be helpful for anyone. So I will be sharing those messages later on in the video. I also just wanted to take a moment to say here that all of the messages I will be sharing today, I will be sharing without giving my clients' names, and I've also received permission from my clients to share these stories. Okay, let's dive into Messages from the Other Side. Our theme of the month for validations is going to be musical messages. I have found that the spirits love to communicate messages through music. Sometimes they'll actually do this in the physical world by playing a song on the radio or on your Spotify and bringing an actual physical song into your experience as a sign or message from them. In this video, I'm going to be sharing songs that came to me during my readings that had a particular significance to the people that received them. These messages were received telepathically through clairaudience in my readings, and so therefore I heard them in my own head. So the first story that I'm going to share is an example of a song that came through in a reading that had a particular significance to the person on earth. So I was doing a reading for a lovely woman down in Florida a few years ago, and towards the end of the reading, her husband came forward in spirit and he wanted to talk to her. And very soon after he arrived, he began to sing the opening of a famous song. He started to sing, "Whoa, my love, my darling," which is, for those of you who know, the beginning of the song Unchained Melody. And when my client heard me starting to sing that song, she actually started crying and she said, "That was my wedding song with my husband, and that was always a special song to us." So he was able to communicate that song as a way of letting her know that he was around. The next example of a musical message that came through in a reading is a bit different in nature. This is an example of a song that the spirits were trying to give as a way of communicating a message and to validate my client on a decision that she had just made in her life. In this reading, the spirits began by singing a rousing rendition of the song "Hit the Road, Jack," to which my client told me that she had just made the decision to move from the United States all the way to China. So the spirits were trying to let her know, yes, it is a good idea to hit the road. And I guess they decided the best way to tell her would be in a musical way. I just wanted to take a moment to insert here that you may also receive messages from Spirit in this way. If you get a song stuck in your head out of nowhere and you have no idea why that song is coming to you, take a moment to listen to the lyrics because the spirits may be trying to send you a message in that way. Okay, so our last story of musical validation that I want to share, I'm particularly excited to share with you. This is a story of a mother and daughter who came to a reading with me, again, a couple of years ago. And it was a wonderful reading. There were 5 beings that came through. And then, toward the end of the reading, one of my client's relatives stepped forward and very deliberately and confidently said, "We will send you a sign soon to let you know that we are really around you. And that sign is going to be the song, 'I'm a Believer.'" And so we finished the reading and my clients went on their way, and they actually had several hours to drive before they got home. Flash forward to later that evening, I get a message from them. And my client is saying, "I couldn't believe it." On their way home, the woman and her daughter were listening to a CD. And then the CD was done, and so they took the CD out. And then all of a sudden, they said that there was this sort of strange feeling in the car, and the radio got all staticky for a moment. And then they started to hear the words, "Then I saw her face, now I'm a believer." Yeah, and then the radio cut out again, and it was just static. And the woman and her daughter said that they just turned to each other and they just couldn't stop crying because they couldn't believe how quickly the spirits had sent the message that they said that they were going to send. And they actually said that if they weren't together, they would have thought that they were just making it up. But because they both heard it, they knew that it had actually happened. Okay, so now we're going to move into our spiritual teachings segment. And so what I thought would be fun for this would be to actually have you choose a card. So I have 3 cards here that are numbered 1, 2, 3. And so what I thought was, I just want you to take a moment to look at the cards. I hope I'm putting them so you can see them. And just see which card you feel drawn to today. Message 1, message 2, or message 3. And as I share the spiritual teachings that I'm about to share, maybe I'll hold it up one more second. As I share the spiritual teachings that I'm about to share that came through my readings, then you can pay extra special attention to the number that you felt drawn to. This is just for fun. You might actually find when you hear them that you resonate with another card more or another message more. But I just thought it'd be fun to pick a card, and maybe that's a message the spirits want you to hear. The theme of our spiritual teaching segment for this month is play. If you chose card number 1, your message today is to connect with Spirit playfully. Sometimes it's easy to connect with Spirit at times when we need help and we're saying, "Spirit, please help me with this challenge that I'm having." I am definitely somebody who does that, and that's often a time that I'll connect with my guides. In one of my readings, a spirit came forward and started to share with us that the spirits really enjoy getting to have fun and interact with us in our daily lives. And they want to be a part of our life, not just when we're going through something that is serious. The Spirit said in my client's reading that they want to be a part of our life during the joyful times as well. So if you pick this card, your spirit guides are trying to tell you that they want you to have this kind of playful, joyful relationship with them. So I thought of a few ideas of how one could play with spirit, and some of these are things that I do in my own life. The first thing you could do is to go for a walk and to invite your spirit guidance team to come with you, or a specific loved one. And as you go, maybe you ask the spirit, point out some beautiful things to me on the trail and we can enjoy them together. I've also had spirit tell me before that they love sharing a meal with us. So maybe you want to have tea or have a snack and invite your spirit loved ones to join you, and maybe you catch them up on what's going on in your life and enjoy that time with them. You could also invite the spirits to go on a car ride with you or go on some other kind of adventure. The spirits are telling you that they would love to be more a part of your daily life if you are open to that, and if you give them a specific invitation to join you at a certain point, then they will be happy to do so. If you picked card number 2, then the message for you is that the spirits want you to make your spiritual lessons a game. This message came through from Spirit in a reading several years back. And in the reading, the spirits were encouraging my client to shift her mindset and to make a decision to look at the lessons that she was currently working on in her life like it was a children's game. So if you were drawn to the number 2 card, your spirit guides are trying to tell you that perhaps there is a lighter or more joyful way that you can approach your own spiritual lessons and spiritual growth. Here I also thought of a few examples for you. So if you are currently working on kindness and compassion, maybe you could make a game out of giving each person that you connect with as much love as possible, especially if they are in a negative or pessimistic place on a given day. Maybe you imagine that you are beaming rainbows toward them, or you can make a special effort to tell each person that you connect with something nice about themselves. It's a kindness game. As another example of how you can make something more like a children's game, maybe you're working on developing courage in your life to speak your truth more authentically. And maybe you want to come up with your own courage superhero name and imagine that you're putting on a special courage superhero cape anytime that you are in a place where you feel like you want to have more courage and strength to speak your truth. Or you could keep a magical courage crystal in your pocket and hold the crystal anytime you want to charge yourself up with courage. If you're working on developing self-love, you could write a silly song about all the things that you love about yourself. Or you could draw a picture and just write, "I'm awesome," on the top of it. So I hope that gives you some ideas of how you might be able to play with spirit in that way. And the best part about it being a game is that if you can't always do it, that's okay. It's just a game. If you chose card number 3, then your message is to set intentions for your dreams. I thought this was a really interesting message that came through in a reading. The spirits told us that it would be a very good idea to set intentions for your dreams before you go to bed. They suggested keeping a journal and writing a question at the top of the page, and then letting that question be present for the next 3-4 days, maybe even a whole week of your dreams, to give time for the message to come through. Maybe you want to ask, where am I going next on my spiritual journey? Can I be shown a scene from one of my past lives that would help me to understand my life more now? What guidance can I receive about my relationship with a certain important person in your life? And then you just see what kinds of information comes through in your dreams in the next few days. Definitely remember that dreams are often symbolic, and so you might receive a metaphorical answer to your question. The spirits recommended to write down your dreams in the next few days after asking the question and to see what comes through. And this is a way you can play with spirit in your dreams. And then the really neat part about this particular message that came through in the reading is the spirit said that you could do this same practice for someone else in your life. It didn't just have to be for yourself. So you could go into your dream state and discover information for somebody else by asking a question on their behalf. So if you receive this card and maybe you don't feel like you have any questions you need to ask, maybe you could see if somebody around you wants to ask a question and you receive information in your dreams. This was a really fun video to film and I really enjoyed it. I would absolutely love to hear from you in the comments below. Have you ever received a musical message from spirit, either in a reading that you've had with someone or in your own life? And also let me know which card you picked and what you think about it. If you like this video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button to join us on the journey. You can also follow me on Instagram at DesiDennis, and that is a place where I often post other messages that come to me, and I'll often make an announcement when there's a new video. So if you want a reminder about our Sunday posting, then you can follow me on Instagram. I've actually planned out most of the videos that I will be sharing for the rest of 2020, so if you want to take a peek about that, you can check the description for all of my upcoming videos. And coming up next week is going to be the video, What is a Spirit Guide? And so I'll see you next Sunday for our next video, and I hope that you have a beautiful week until then. Much love, everybody. Especially if they seem like they are in a negative or pessimistic. And when my client heard this song, you also could cut all that last future, Des. Oh man.